Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Wednesday, March 31st. We are in the final day of the trading month of March, and we are in the final hour of the current trading day. The final hour of the current trading day is the most important hour for me because during that last hour, and in particular the last few minutes, the large financial institutions come in. They take control of the price away from the day traders and the algorithms, and I consider the closing price to be the most valid price of the day. That's why sometimes you'll hear, hey, we made a new all-time high, but not on a closing basis. It went up during the day, but it closed below the all-time high at the end of the day. So the end of the day price is an important price, and I prefer to make my buying and selling decisions based upon that final price. And the nice thing about it too is that you do not have to sit in front of the computer all day if you are just an end of day trader. You know, might mosey on up to the computer with about an hour to go, check out your charts, and then make your decisions, and you don't have to sit in front of the screen all day long except for that last hour. So thank you all for coming today. I appreciate it. It's always nice to see everyone. I really look forward to this time of the day, and I'm very appreciative that we have such a great group and so many great contributors. And I hope that by investing your time here, you're getting some kind of dividend on improving your skills or on improving your understanding of good trading principles. So currently the Dow is up 22 points, up 0.06%, so kind of off the highs, but still green. The NASDAQ having a huge day, up 270 points. That's up over 2%, 2.07% today. And the S&P is up 31.89, up 0.18%. So here is the plan for today. First of all, we are going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have one little day trade today on VIX. It was a small loser, but I will share that with you as well. After that, we're going to go over to the board. We're going to take a look at my students' current positions that are up on the board, and we're going to see how those are doing. I see a lot of green over there, so that will be good to get to go over those and to take a look. After that, we are going to talk a little bit about Traitor Psychology, most important part of the day. You know, what happens with people's minds is just unbelievable. I mean, it's just crazy, right? It affects everything in your life. And when it comes to trading, it is no different. You get those emotions amplified. You start making money or you start losing money, and it really has an effect on how you trade. And you know, I've said it a million times before, but the best way to ensure that you're going to be a long-term profitable trader is that you position size correctly, you have a very clean trade, you take into account volatility, you have a good risk to reward ratio. All these things you need to come up with because they're very important in your trading. But if you don't follow the plan, what good was doing all of that? And in my experience, the best way to keep following your plan are twofold. One, position size correctly so you have enough position so that it makes a difference, but it allows you to follow the trade or the plan. And then secondly, I always think it's a good idea to have a friend or a girlfriend or a wife or husband or boyfriend, whatever, take a look at your trades and kind of be your chaperone, right? Just to make sure that you're kind of following your trade plan correctly. I have done this in the past and it really does work. So position size and being accountable to someone does make a big difference in case you're having issues with that. So long way of saying we're going to talk about Traitor Psychology, and I've picked the topic and I'll share that with you. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I have gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a new trade. The first requirement is I need to have a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up, ideally on multiple time frames. I have to have a good risk to reward ratio, at least 2 to 1 based upon valid support below me and likely strong resistance above me. I have to do the math and say, okay, do I have at least a 2 to 1 risk to reward on this? And then lastly, kind of a hodgepodge, be careful with your correlation. You don't want to have too many highly correlated stocks. You want to position size correctly. You want to take a look at your account heat. In other words, what percentage of your capital do you have at risk? And again, like I just mentioned, you need to have a clean trade. You need to know exactly what you're doing to trade. And before you hit that buy button each day, just make sure you've given some thoughts to all those items that I just listed. All right. It's okay not to have a trade. It's totally fine. Being short is a valid position. Being long is a valid position. And being flat is a totally valid position as well. Okay. So I do have quite a few end of day candidates that we're going to go down, that we're going to go through today. Going to have to really spend some time on deciding which one's the best one, keeping in mind how many correlated positions I already have and what my account heat is, because there are a lot of potential entries today, but I need to factor that in, especially today. So I'm definitely going to have to choose wisely today. And if I find something at the end of the day, if it looks good, I will go ahead and purchase it before the close of the market. After the market closes, if you have any questions for me, you need clarification on anything, let me know. I'm happy to answer. If you would like me to take a look at any particular stock symbols today before the market closes, if you put them in the chat, I will do my very best to get to them before the market closes. And then lastly, if any of my students have any new entries or exits for me today that they would like me to update on the board, if you could please wait until the end of the day so that I'm done trading, markets closed, all that good stuff. All right. Okay. You know the drill. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let us see who is here today. Leva is here. Good to see you, Leva. Got your email. I replied, and we will be taking a look at that symbol. I put it on my watch list. Good analysis. Dan says, good day, Greg, love, and everyone. Good to see you, Dan, my friend. Hope you're having a good day. Kamal is here. Hey, Greg and all. Hello, Kamal. Thank you for everything that you do for this channel. Appreciate your friendship. I really do. Dan says 100% thumbs up at the moment. The way it should end up. Oh, nice. Thank you. Appreciate that, Dan. Always pointing that out. That's nice of you to watch that. David is here. Hi, Greg and group. Hello, David. Nice to see you, sir. Steve Burns is here. Hello, traders. Good to see you, Steve. Always an honor, privilege to have you here. I really mean that. I say it every day, but I do mean it, and I'm sure everyone else in the group feels that way. And great job on your trades today, and we'll go over your trades in a minute. Leva says, we're in a Gregorian market. There's a lot of good setups today, totally, completely, and holy hamburgers. That's true. You know I like to say holy hamburgers, right? So yeah, there are a lot of setups today, but you know, we have to be careful, right? Keep in mind what positions we have already. Keep in mind our correlation. And, you know, if I do find something today, try to narrow it down to the very best one with all the other stuff that with the correlation, account heat, and other things. Keep that in the back of your mind. Jonathan is here. Hello. Good evening, Greg and group. Good evening to you. Hope you are having a nice evening in Ireland, and I'm looking forward to our lesson on Sunday. Nigma says, hello, everyone. Hello, Nigma. Good to see you. Tracy is here. Hi, everyone. Hey, Tracy. Good to see you. Hope you and Paxton are both doing well. Lilia is here. Hello, Lilia. Nice to see you, my friend. Hope you and the dogs are doing well. Hi, Greg and Group, says Lilia. Frank says, hello, Greg and Group. Hello, Mr. Frank. Appreciate everything you do for this channel as well, Frank, with your wonderful poems every day. Morgs is here. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, by the way, Morgs, one of my very, very best friends in the world is going to be going to Africa. And I was telling him about you, and he said, hey, I'll stop by and we'll talk some trading, and I will take him to lunch or dinner. So remind me what city you're in. I forgot now. I don't know if it's Cape Town or if it's Johannesburg or Pretoria. I'm not sure, but remind me. But good seeing you, Morgs, and hopefully you two can have dinner. Excuse me. Gary is here. Hello, Greg and Goop. Hello, Mr. Gary. Good to see you, my friend. Yuvar is here. Says hello, everyone. Hello, Yuvar. Johan is here. Buddy, what's going on? Good to see you, my friend. PKI has a 520 crossover. Yes, it does. Let's check the back test on that. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, okay. So ETF replay will not let me backtest PKI, so I don't know if that's valid or not. Timothy is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Looking forward to our Skype call coming up soon here. I will get with you on that, but I always like catching up with Tim. All right, let's get to it, shall we? BKRB, well, this one is not participating today. I don't know why. Kind of a bummer, but Frank, David, Johan, and myself did buy BKRB, which is Berkshire Hathaway, return to value, sideways motion, false breakouts at the downside, V1, bought it at 250.86, moved up initially the next couple days, really nice, hit some profit targets, did get to my trailing stop level. Today, though, today I may have to take some action on this because it has moved 1.5 ATRs from my entry, and currently it is closed below the previous day's low. So if it does close today below yesterday's low, I will go ahead, lock in half profits. That is my approach with the return to value V1s, V2s. But it's been a great trade so far. Light. All right. So I bought Light at 91.74. It's 92.27. It is finally profitable. Lilia and I bought this on a weekly, not a daily time frame, but on the weekly time frames. A return to value, sideways motion, beautiful false breakout to the downside in a V1. We bought at 91.74. Like I said, it's 92.27. My end of day stop here is 85.40. This is a weekly bar, so I will make my decisions on this based upon Friday's close. Netflix. All right, I did buy Netflix yesterday with the test of the intraday rejection of the 200-day moving average. I bought it at 511.81 along with Tracy and Jonathan. Is up 2.16% today, which is great, and I did hit one profit target at 521.58. My trailing stop level for when I go into trailing stop mode, it's up here at about 536, although this will move every day based upon the value of the 1.5 ATR. All right, the Qs. Who was in the Qs with me? Frank and David. All right, so we bought the Qs back on the 26th. I bought them here at 313.82, false breakout to the downside, plus the V2, bought at 313.82. It's 320.46, so it's up 1.96% today, which is fantastic. And so far on the trade, up about 2%. And I did hit one profit target today here at 317.79. And you can see I have a second one right up here at 321.26. So who knows? Maybe we'll hit that one as well, but that's doing really well. SPY finally got a profitable overnight SPY trade. I buy the SPY at the close every day. I hold it overnight. I sell it first thing the next morning. I bought it at 394.73 at the close yesterday. I sold it this morning at the open at 395.35 for decent little overnight gapper. SSO. All right. Tracy and David and I did buy SSO. This is double leverage SPY, so it moves twice as much percentage-wise as the regular SPY. Nice return to value, sideways motion, false breakout to the downside. The trigger was a V1. Bought at 98.93, moved up strong, took profit targets, had a couple days of sideways motion, hit another profit target up here today at 102.78. It did get to my trailing stop level, and so I am now in trailing stop mode on SSO, meaning that if I get a close below the previous day's low, I will sell half, just like on BRKB. VIX. So I did have one little loss on VIX today. I didn't have a lot of day trades today. All the way back here, we had a return to value. We kissed, the 520 kissed, moved up. I waited the next bar, bought it at halfway, bought it at 11.55. Next bar just collapsed. I had to get out at 11.50. So I did take a 5-cent loss on that day trade, and that's the only day trade that I had. All right, let's take a look at your positions. Johan bought JP Morgan at 152.60. It's currently 152.72. So it's down a little bit today, but slightly up on the trade. Fastly, Gary and Kamal, great trade on Fastly. False breakout to the downside in a V1. They bought it yesterday at 65.06. It's 67.73, up 3.82%. So bravo, guys. Really nice. Nike, Steve and David bought this big dip on Nike when we went under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third, bought at 128.91. It's 133.40, up 0.34% on the day, but up about 3.3% on the trade total. Light, we talked about this, but Gary sold put spreads on Light, the $80 77.50s expiring April 16th. So it has to close above $80 in order for Gary to make the premium on the spreads that he sold. It's $92.27, so he has $12.27 in protection. So that's a good place to be. Congratulations. Beyond Meat, I always say that. Boyd Gaming, I apologize. Boyd Gaming, Tracy bought Boyd Gaming. Tracy and Paxton bought Boyd Gaming back here. I think it's about $48. They sold half here at $58. Moved up, then came back down. Currently $59.33, still nicely in the money on the trade, and it's up on the trade as well. But that was a great trade. eBay has been a monster. Mamal bought eBay with the rejection of the 200-day moving average, bought it at, with the steep dip buy of the 200-day moving average at 53.30. It's 61.80. It's up 2.45% just today, and from entry to current price up 13.71%. Way to go. All right. LMND, Lilia, Frank, and Kamal, the trading trio here, had a great trade yesterday at 89.50. Double bottom, bullish divergence, bullish engulfing. This is lemonade. Had some people say they thought it was funny when I said lemonade, so lemonade. They bought lemonade at 89.50. It's 93.40. It's up 3.94%. So great trade there. BIDU, Steve and David bought BIDU with the bounce off the 200, under 30, over 30, bought it at 197.42. It's 216.89. It's down a little bit today, but percentage-wise, up 9.24%. So congratulations, Steve and David. Roku, Steve, beautiful trade with Steve with an under 30, over 30, bought at 304.53. It's 328.15, up 5.19% just today, and up 7.45% on the trade. So way to go, Steve. You've had some great trades lately. PKI, Kamal bought PKI at 126.60. It's 129.20 with the close back above the 200-day moving average. So that's moving up nicely on the day and nicely on the trade. NVAX. All right. Frank bought NVAX all the way back here. 135. More than doubled. Went up over 100%. He sold 90%. He kept 10 for funsies. And even that 10% is still up. But what a great trade on there, Frank. AGQ. All right, Steve. Steve had a beautiful trade on AGQ with the bounce, deep dip by bounce right at the 30. He bought it at 39.68. It's 41.16, up 3.86% or 3.94% now. So way to go, Steve. Beautiful trade. TMO, Lilia bought TMO at 46.61 with close back over higher low close back over the 200, MACD being positive, up $6.38 today, up 1.41%. So nicely up on the day and nicely up on the trade. And lastly, Edit. Kamal had a great trade on Edit. Looks like a false breakout to the downside. Then V1, he bought it at 40.50. It is 42.35. It's up 4.57%. So way to go. Looks like everybody got their trading mojo back. Morg says, hi, Greg. That will be really cool. I will definitely do that. I live in East London, but go to Cape Town pretty often. So Cape Town. Okay, that's where he's going. Johan says, TER has a 520 crossover, recovering 100 and the 50 RSI. That's correct. I have that on my list. Steve says, PKI EMA backtest is double buy and hold the chart. $2,485 return versus $1,290. I will buy if the crossover holds. Okay, that is good to know. So let me do the math on PKI. So I have that handy if I need it. All right, yeah, there are a lot of things to look at today. My gosh. GNRC. Oh, I already have that one on there. Okay. All right, listen, before we start going over the list of end-of-day candidates, and there are a lot of them, so I want to get to them quickly, but I do want to talk a little bit about Traitor Psychology before we do that. You know, I have my favorite Facebook and Twitter channels that I follow. And the people that have these channels post some really great information each day. And one of my favorites here is Thomas Paine. You've heard me talk about Thomas. He was a scientist. He changed careers, became a trader, and he really kind of brought that scientific method to trading. So I really suggest that you follow him on Twitter. Everything he posts, I always read and internalize. He's Thomas Paine at Trader T Paine. But let's see what Thomas has to say today. When you make impulsive trades, you are often satisfying your short-term desires at the expense of your long-term goals. Example, a FOMO trade satisfies your short-term desire to eliminate the fear of missing out, but it hinders your long-term goal of becoming a better trader, right? So, I mean, it makes sense in life and it makes sense in trading. I mean, you know, impulsive things are generally not good things to do, and sometimes you pay for them later, and it's especially true in trading. like Thomas says, when you make impulsive trades, you are often satisfying your short-term desires at the expense of your long-term goals. What are your long-term goals? Well, your long-term goals are to be a long-term profitable trader. And if you satisfy your FOMO, your fear of missing out, if you try to satisfy in the short run just to for your desire to eliminate the fear of missing out, that can interfere with your long-term goals of becoming a better trader. So remember that there's always a price to pay for everything. And in trading, if you're impulsive, then it can hinder your long-term goals or your big picture results by jumping in and having those impulsive trades. So anyway, sorry, that was a bit of a mouthful, but I think you get the idea. But the plan here is, think about the long term, and in trading, don't do things impulsively in the short term. Think about the big picture in the long term. And thank you, Thomas Payne. Appreciate that, sir. Johan says, miss yesterday's action, but also long lemonade and edit. Okay, remind me at the end there, bud, if you will. Okay. All right. Well, let's get to it. Before we start looking at new ones, I'm going to take one more look at my current. So it looks like I will be selling half of my position today on Berkshire because the close below the previous day's low after reaching the 1.5 trailing stop level. Light is doing fine on the weekly. Make my decision on Friday. Netflix, doing great, doing really great. And I did hit one profit target to date, so I don't see any change that I need to make with Netflix. Q's, doing great. Q's do have a 520 crossover today as well. I don't think I'm going to take this one because I already have the Q's. You know what I mean? I could just morph this into a brand new trade and just because I sold half back here when we rejected the 50, but I don't think I'm going to go into crossover mode. I think I'm just going to use, I think I'm just going to trade this based upon my initial entry, the false breakout to the downside, and I'll just look for something else to buy today. SPY, ooh, do I have SPY queued up to buy today? No, I do not. Okay, I better do that. All right, so I'm just placing my end of day SPY trade so that just buys at the end there. SSO, fine. Trailing stop level, probably nothing to do with that at all. So I think we're all good there. So let's go ahead and look. We've got a lot of them, and it's going to be interesting, to see how, at least for me, how I narrow this down and what I do. This was from Lava. I did like this earlier a lot. We had a under 30, over 30. We had an under 200, over 200 intraday, and we had a V2. But that is why I wait till the end of the day, everybody, because I want to see what the end of the day price is. If I would have just bought this intraday, of course, I would be down on that. So good analysis, Leva. Really appreciate your effort. And one of these days I am definitely going to take one of the ones that you suggest, because you've been doing a lot of great analysis, and I really want to congratulate you on that, my friend. Adobe. Okay, so Adobe has a close under 200, over 200. I do have a filter, however. I cannot take an under 200, over 200 if it's over the second ATR channel, which it is. So that one I'm going to have to throw out. DocuSign has a close under, closed back over the 250, and MACD went positive. That is a good sign. The under 250, over 250 on DocuSign does back test well. Is it too chasey? The only thing that concerns me a little bit here is on the weekly, how we're bumped up right to that negative 1 ATR channel and also the 50, but I definitely will keep that on there as a potential. GNRC has a crossover, a 520 crossover. Let's take a look over the weekly. It's a little extended. It's up at the second ATR channel on the daily. So, but it does have a valid 520 crossover here. Google's not ready yet. TER does backtest well with a 520 crossover. Does have a 520 crossover. I think it's a little extended for me, honestly, with that 50-day moving average right there. It could just power up another day. There's no doubt about it. And I do like the weekly a lot, where we're just right here in the weekly. Hey, wait a minute. Did I forget? There we go. I did not see Frank's poem. Let's get to that. I felt like something was off. I felt like I was going pretty quick in the podcast because I forgot to do the poem. And thank you, Frank, for your poem that you write every day. It's just amazing. You have an amazing talent. Let's see what Frank has to say. Some days being in the market can feel like the best seat. Oh, okay. Some days being in the market can feel like the best seat on the Titanic. A case of nerves when things get a bit frantic. Rules help you cross the market's Atlantic safely without all the noise and panic. Wow. Way to go, Frank. That's awesome. Some days being in the market can feel like the best seat on the Titanic. A case of nerves when things get a bit frantic. Rules help you cross the market's Atlantic safely without all the noise and panic. Wow. Frank, it's just amazing, bud. Just amazing. Thank you very much. Let's give Frank a hand. I mean, did you think we were going to get a Titanic-related poem today? I didn't, but somehow Frank was able to put it together, and what a great poem. Steve says, QQQ has a 520 EMA crossover. Yes, it definitely does, and that is on the list here to look. Frank, amazing. I cannot comprehend how you do this 5 days a week. I totally agree. Thanks, Dan. I can't either. Microsoft has a V2. Yeah, it does. And it has a 520 crossover. I would say that is valid. That washout's valid. Has a V2, has a 520 crossover. Yep. That does. It looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly, I mean, we could go up. I don't like the fact that it's rejected the 1 ATR channel already. It rejected it over here, rejected it over here. Now it's rejected it there as well. Sumo. Yeah, I think if you were going to buy that, yesterday was the day to buy that, Kamal. TER has a 520 crossover, but it's chasey. Yep. Okay, sorry. Let's get back to, here we go. Here's TER. This is what Steve was talking about. I'm a little concerned about that downward sloping 50-day moving average. It seems a little bit chasey. You know, I already have the Qs. I already have Netflix. I already have some double leverage stuff. So, you know, this is a good example of where you kind of have to reflect a little bit and see whether or not you want to add a bunch more things. At least I am. AMD has a rejection of the 250 yesterday, also has a higher low V2. It's 46.21. You know, if I look at this, I look at the price, I look at the 200-day, which I'm sure will have some kind of issue with that. From here to here is my theoretical profit. From here down to here is my theoretical loss. And it looks like to me there is more loss than gain on that particular trade. XLK is the technology sector. It does have a 520 crossover. This does backtest well. We did clear the 50-day moving average, which is good. That is good. So what I'm considering doing is, this is one of my potentials today. But because I already have the cues and this is a technology sector, of course, they're going to be very closely correlated. I'm considering taking a half position here in XLK. Here's the cues that Steve was talking about. It does have a 520 crossover, as he mentioned. Notice here, though, on the cues, we have not cleared the 50-day moving average. Notice on XLK that we have. There's both a 520 crossover, but the XLK has cleared the 50 SMA, where the cues still have that as resistance. So that's why personally I like XLK better. Clove, pretty good here as well. We have some divergences. We have a very deep low with deep MACD bars. We did rally. We've come back down. We have a V2 right here. Here is day 1, 2, and 3. Day 2 washes out day 1. Day 3 closing above day 1's close. Also false breakout to the downside from this low. And what I'm kind of watching here is this 5-day EMA. We have not been able to close above the 5-day EMA for quite a long time. If in addition to the false breakout and the V2, if we close above the 5, that would be kind of interesting to me. So let's see. And then PKI. All right, Kamal has PKI and 128.13, 128.15. So currently the crossover is not valid. Let's look over on the weekly. Having a little bit of an issue with the -1 ATR channel at the moment. But anyway, it's 218.12 compared to 218.14, so it is not a valid crossover at this point. AYX, big day up. That looks chasey. Beyond Meat, ooh, I was thinking about that yesterday, but didn't take it. That's up nicely now, 4%. I wouldn't buy this here at this point. NLS closed back above the 250-day moving average. I did try to back test this, but I was not able to pull this up. But good risk to reward ratio off of the 250, but I don't know if it's a valid back test. EXEL, nice close above the 200-day moving average, although we have been below, above. So I don't know. I think I'll leave that one alone. AFRM, false breakout to the downside in a V2, but it did reject the -1 ATR channel. Budweiser, oh, all right. So listen, today's the last day of the month, everybody. So what does that mean? That means that I am looking for some monthly trades. Zoom communication looks okay, but I think yesterday was the day to have bought that. So today is the end of the month. I have 3 potential end of month trades here. And here's Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser. We have a higher low move into the value zone, and we have a higher low V2. Here's bar 1, 2, 3. Bar 2 washes out bar 1. Bar 3 currently has triggered a V2 on Budweiser. These are monthly bars, so I would only make my buying and selling decisions at the end of the month. You know how I like to have multiple time frames to place my trades on, and I've had some really good monthly trades. I think last year I had a 48 or 50% move on a monthly bar. I think it was Exxon, if I remember correctly, and another one too. I can't remember, but from a monthly standpoint, today's the last day of the month. I do kind of like this, actually. I mean, it's a higher low V2 with positive MACD. Pfizer also decent, has a false breakout to the downside and a V2. I like that as well. MACD is not positive, so I kind of like Budweiser better because MACD is positive. And then XLU has a false breakout to the downside and a V2 on the monthly, which is pretty good as well. MACD is not positive. I kind of like Budweiser, actually, if it holds. If it does hold, I will buy it. Again, I'm going to take my maximum allowed loss. I'm going to divide it by the value of the 2 ATR. The 2 ATR on the monthly is huge, so I'm going to buy fewer shares, but that's by design because monthly moves are obviously a lot larger than daily moves, so you need to have fewer shares if you want to standardize what your maximum allowed loss is. Make sense? Okay. So here is DocuSign. I am interested in DocuSign. It does backtest well. Looks like it might close over that 50 and the -1 ATR channel, which was good. So I do like DocuSign. I do like Clover with the false breakout to the downside and the V2. And also XLK. Well, XLK is going to be very close to my Qs. You know, it's going to be very close to the Qs. So I think what I'll do today is I think I'll take a half position in DocuSign and a half position in Clove. I don't usually like to take more than one trade per day, but in this case, 2 different setups, but I will only take half of a position. I'll take 2, but I'll only take half a position, so it really ends up just being 1. And then Budweiser at the end of the month, if this does close above 62.69, I will enter the monthly position there. Uber. Yeah, it's okay. It got really close to the 50 RSI though. MACD is negative. Got really close to the 50 RSI and the 20-day EMA. So me personally, I don't think I would take that one. It did hold the 250 last time and had a decent little rally from there. All right, let me put this in. All right. So the Dow, looks like the Dow has went negative on the day. So DOCU and CLOV. DOCU and CLOV. Okay. So Berkshire, I am definitely going to have to get out of Berkshire. Half of my position, trailing stop mode, close under the previous day's low. Steve exited Nike with a 3.7% gain. Very nice, Steve. Viacom, or VIAC. Yeah, you're right, Tim. Very, very close. My gut feeling on this one, I would wait for a rejection of the 200-day moving average. I don't know why. I just have a feeling it's going to get down there. Kamal, we looked at Uber. David says, I just learned what a doji candle is, Steve. Thank you. Well, let's take a look. Yeah, kind of a indecisive candle. It looks like a little cross. So Steve exited that. Let me know, Dave, if you're going to exit that as well. Okay, so I'm going to have a lot of stuff to do at the end, so I am going to sell 1/2 of my Berkshire Hathaway and lock in profits on that. Always nice to lock in a little profits, yeah? Okay, that is done. So I did lock in half profits right here from the entry down here. Netflix has also come off, but I'm keeping it. Q's, just going to keep it going along with the false breakout to the downside, and V2 I had. I'm not going to morph into a 520 cross. DocuSign is off of its high. Boy. MACD is positive. Okay, half position makes sense. So I'm going to go with the half position on DocuSign. I like that it is now over the 10-day moving average. I do like that. And a half position here on Clover with this nice false breakout to the downside in the V2. Dave's out as well. All right. Well, we have some time. So congratulations, Steve, and congratulations, Dave. You know, an under 30 over 30 is more of a bounce play. You know, you get in it, you get out. You're not in very long, usually, sometimes, but most of the time, an under 30 over 30 is kind of a bounce play, so you have to be a little quicker on the exit, and that's exactly what Steve and David did. Frank sold BRKB, sold Lemonade, buy Doc and Bud at close. Okay, if you can, Frank, remind me at the end there so I don't miss out on that, okay? Steve exited Baidu for a 9.51% gain. Very nice, Steve. And David is in that as well, so let me know if there's any updates there at the end of the day on that one. Okay. And let me take a look here over at Budweiser as well for my monthly trade. If it's going to trigger, I believe it is 62.69, 62.93. So MACD positive, higher low V2. So yeah, I will go ahead and buy Budweiser as well. Okay, I just bought Budweiser right now. And I'm going to buy Clove, half a position, and I'm going to buy DocuSign, half position as well. Dave is following Steve out of Baidu. Okay, good. Frank says, I second that, Kamal. Nigma says, there's some lawsuit happening on Clover. EXEL, I looked at that one earlier. It's okay. I don't think the washout's legitimate. Oil has a V2. Oil? USO? I don't see a V2 here. Sorry. OIL. OLI. I don't have OLI. Sorry, Tim. I don't have OLI. They don't pull up on my charts. Frank says, can't go wrong with Bud. If the trade goes wrong, there's always the beer. Boom. There you go. That is true. Okay. Well, I'm glad I waited on DocuSign. Now it's rejected the 10-day. Yeah. Tell you what, I think I'm going to skip DocuSign. I don't like now that we've rejected the 10-day moving average. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a full position on Clover instead. Steve is long the Qs at 318.92 in the 520 crossover. Okay, I will get that updated. Steve is also long GNRC with the 520 EMA crossover. Sounds good. There's GNRC right there with that 520 crossover. And I'm just waiting to buy Clover here. I bought QS last week, never hit my stop loss, but it has sucked. Would you keep holding it for now? Well, I mean, if it hasn't hit your stop loss, you know, did you buy it on Friday? Did you buy that false breakout to the downside with the V1? Is that what you bought? I mean, if you did, I would, if it was Friday, I could see buying that. I would probably hold it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and buy Clover here. I decided to pass on DocuSign. I'm not buying DocuSign. And I already bought Budweiser. All right, we have 1 minute to go. What's Apple doing today? Well, rejected the 50 RSI. Up nicely, but did reject the 50 RSI. All right, 5 seconds. Okay. That's that. Let's see. So I bought the overnight SPY trade at 396.33. And I bought a full position of Clover at 757. All right, so here's Clover at 757. And here is SPY at 396.33. All right, so listen, everybody, if you have any new entries or exits for me, this is the time to let me know. Just put them in the chat and I will get them all updated. Just a few items to go over quickly before we get to that. First, I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time. I teach a 15-hour course in which I cover all five of the trading approaches that I use. I use five of them. Each lesson is 3 hours long, and there are 5 lessons for a total of 15 hours. So I teach you each one of my 5 trading approaches. I teach you step by step how to position size, emergency stops, end of day stops, intraday profit targets, overhead resistance levels. I think it's a really good course. I have really had some great students that have come out of this course, and I know if you take the course, you will be a better trader as well. I put a lot of work into this when I work with the new students. Very important to me that they succeed, and so I work really hard to make you a better trader if you take this course. So if you're interested, send me an email. The email is in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter, and if you do, I'll reply and say, hey, thank you for saying hi. Let's set up a Skype call. Skype call is free. I just want to learn more about you and your trading and your goals and your trading challenges. And then it's a good time for you to ask me questions about the course as well. Secondly, I do have, speaking of courses, I do have an online course. It's the first one I've ever created, but I've had really good feedback from it. It's doing really well on udemy.com. And this particular course is called the Deep Dip Buy Stock Trading Strategy. It's on udemy.com. The link's in the description. You know, Udemy has very affordable courses. It's somewhere between $12 and $15. And so for $12 or $15, you get a lot. You get 9.5 hours of video, you get 15 study guides, you get 26 videos, and I teach you step by step on that Udemy course exactly how to trade the deep dip buy approach. And so yeah, the link's in the description. Then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I really would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here and get on with your day. It really does help the channel, helps a lot with YouTube. It really helps a lot with them promoting it and keeping it out there so we can keep the channel going. So if you did find something useful today, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button before you click on out of here. Okay, all right, well, let's head back over. And let's see, so we have a bunch of changes. Let me start up here. I know we had, okay, I got rid of Nike, right? I did get rid of Nike. Okay, so Frank sold Berkshire. Sold Lemonade. Bought DocuSign at the close. Oh, I have to see where I bought Budweiser. I bought Budweiser today as well. Okay, there's Frank, and bought Bud at the close. And Frank bought it on the daily, right? Okay, so, well, let's see. I think what I'll do is this. Let me check and see where I bought Budweiser. Okay, I bought it at $62.91 for the monthly trade at $62.91. All right, so what I'm gonna do, 62.91 is me, and then I'm gonna put on here Frank daily. And I bought it on the month. So I guess I'll just make a little note to myself here and say, Greg, month, Greg, monthly trade. Okay, that should work. And then Frank and DocuSign. Okay. All right. So Steve exited, Dave and Steve exited BIDU for a great trade. Congratulations, gentlemen. And he exited for 9.51% gain on the rejection and failure to break yesterday's high. Okay, that makes sense. Kamal, did you buy both DocuSign and Clove? Can't go wrong with Bud. Okay, Steve bought GNRC. At 329.49. $329.49. And Steve, that's a 520 EMA cross. Okay. Steve is long the Qs. Okay, so I'm also long the Qs, and so what I'm gonna do, I guess, what should I do here? Okay, we'll go Steve, 331.21, 520 EMA cross at 318.92. Okay, how about that? I'll put a line there to signify that. Gary is in Clove and Bud. Okay. Riot blockchain. The $45, 42.50 puts. Okay. So Gary doesn't think it's going down there. David is in DocuSign. And Bud. Okay, Johan is in edit. Very nice trade there, buddy. And Lemonade. Nice trade, all three of you there. And in DocuSign. And Clove. Frank said he decided not to buy DocuSign. Okay, same with me. Jonathan D is in Budweiser. All right, on the monthly, I'm assuming. It's good to get outside of just the weekly or daily time frame. It's nice. It's good to go to a weekly or a monthly, but this is a higher low V2 on the monthly, so it's good to get some diversification into different time frames. Gary says, "Thank you, Greg. Have a great one, everyone." Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. All right, so Berkshire Hathaway out of half today with the close. My weekly position light is slightly underwater. It was up earlier, but slightly underwater now. Daily position on Netflix had a nice day there. Daily position on Q's had a nice day there. By the way, if I reject the 50 RSI or the 50 SMA, I will get out of half. If I reject both of them, I will be out of the... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I already took half here with the over 50 50 RSI, under 50 RSI. So I've already used that one up. Tomorrow, if we were to reject the 50 on the way up, I'd get out of the rest of my position and be flat. If I had a close below the previous day's low, same thing. All right, and Kamal is in Clove. And also DocuSign. Hey, Kamal, I'm going to call you after the market closes. I want to talk to you about something. So look for my call, would you? That we've been talking about there in the past. Jonathan says, on tap, but monthly. That's good. That's really good. Let's see what's happening after hours. Anything going on? We're about to find out. Apple's down 14 cents. Berkshire's up 3 cents. Budweiser's even. Clove's up 2 cents. It's exciting. Netflix up 39 cents. Q's are down. SPY's down. VIX even. So really good day today. Fantastic. Not a big day trading day for me today, but earlier in the day it was just a one-way train all the way up, which is kind of hard to trade those. But there were a lot of pullbacks. But you know, today there were so many different entries. I was spending most of my time looking at end of day entries, and what did I end up with? I ended up with Clove. Is it the right decision? I have no idea. But I do know where my stop is going to be. My stop's going to be halfway of the washout bar, all the way down here. We're at 37.37 RSI. If it keeps moving up, I will hit some profit targets, which will be good. I'll look for a rejection of the 50 RSI. If it rejects it, I will sell half. If it moves 1.5 ATRs from my entry, I will go into trailing stop mode. But I like the V2, false breakouts to the downside, MACD is positive, and the rejection of the -1 ATR channel. So that is why I decided to buy Clover. But who knows if I'll be right. If I look over on the weekly, getting close to triggering a V2, or excuse me, a V1 on the weekly as well. So I don't know. All we can do, look at all the indicators, look for the confluence and combination of signals, look for a good risk to reward ratio, take the trade, enter the right amount of shares, and pull the handle on the slot machine and see what happens. That's all we can do. So March is out of the books. We're done with, so we're starting into April. Tomorrow is going to be April 1st. Is that right? April Fool's Day. No April Fool's Days, but maybe Frank, maybe we can get an April Fool's poem. That'd be awesome. Kamal says, Greg, yes, talk to you soon. Okay, bud, thanks. Looking forward to it. Lova says, how did it come to be that the institutional investors always buy at the close? I don't know. I think it's just kind of always been like that, that they've looked at the data of the entire day and they've just, you know, maybe they have in their mind what the right price is, and if in the middle of the day it's lower than that, they bring it up. If they think the right price is lower and it's higher, they bring it back down. And you know, and part of it is they're following what other people are doing, but the closing price has always been the most important price, Love it. But good job today on that symbol that we looked at. I can't remember what it was now, but that did look really good when I looked at it this morning, but it faded a little bit, and that's, you know, that's why we wait. But closing price, you know, you listen to the news, you listen to this, hey, it made a new high today, but not on a closing basis. If it can close at a new high, that's stronger and better from a technical perspective. So listen, before I let you go, if we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction. So let's go out there, do one random act of kindness for someone. Maybe you know them, maybe it's a stranger. Do something nice for somebody today. It will make their day. It should make your day. If you could also go out, do something nice for an animal. I know animals, and they appreciate when you do something nice for them. So, you know, you would appreciate it if someone would do something nice for you. So go out and do something nice for a human, go out and do something nice for an animal, and it's a win-win-win all around. All right. Well, I think that's it, everybody. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Hey, listen, again, if you like the podcast today, if you'd hit that thumbs up button on the way out, I would really, really, really appreciate it. And good trading today, everybody. And it looks like there were some nice winners there. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. Hopefully it's not an April Fool's Day, right? All right, everybody. I have to run that U.S. legal disclaimer on the way out. Have a good one. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.